Watch the knee. The whole league listening. So every no call on Clark, every phantom whistle that dragged Aliyah Boston to the bench, and the fourth quarter decision Fever fans are still arguing about.
And then as this is the play that she felt should have
said about this last drive, and you see Veronica Burton on her. And then
Golden State had hands on Clark from the opening tip, bumping her off screens, grabbing jersey, riding her hip every possession. Go back through the first quarter and you'll find 2 or 3 plays where a defender moves her off her spot with no call, plus one where she hits the floor over a screen while the official watches it like a bus going by. The pattern had a full quarter to set. Everyone in the building saw it. Everyone at home saw it. The only 3 people who didn't were wearing whistles. And this is why a no call costs more than a free throw. It rewrote her night. Clark's game runs off the first step, that half second of separation before a defender recovers. Take the leg, and the pull-up she's hit 1,000 times becomes a prayer. She played 3/4 of a different sport on a quad swelling in real time, and the officials never acknowledged the thing that caused it. Then it got worse, because the explanation she got was that she initiated the contact. Her. Clark. As in, she ran her own leg into Kiah Stokes' knee. She did not swallow it. She turns straight to Gatling and lets her have it, loud enough for people courtside to hear. Gets a warning. Somehow avoids the technical. And from the body language, she'd have taken it without blinking. Hold that moment. She says the same thing into a microphone later, and we're getting there. But first, what was happening to Indiana's other all-star at the same time? It's the mirror image of this. Why was the best interior player Indiana has sitting on the bench in a game they were losing because nobody was in the paint? That's not rhetorical. That's what every Fever fan was typing by a halftime. Boston's first whistle comes on a play that barely qualifies as contact, a bump on a post-up that Golden State's bigs were doing to her all night with nobody reaching for anything. Second one before the second quarter hits the midpoint. White has no choice. Sit her or risk number 3 before the break. Soft, I can live with. Some of these were flops. Players hitting the deck on contact that wouldn't move a folding chair. Heads snapping back like they got hit by a truck. Bought every time. Boston boxes out, barely moves her arm, and the Valkyries player collapses like she'd been shot. Whistle, bench. She's shaking her head at nobody because there's nobody who's going to listen. Now flip the floor. Their bigs lean on Boston. That's not a vibe. That's on tape.
And miss. Gets the offensive rebound. Clark's behind the back. It's a Boston corner 3. That one goes down.
Golden State opened on a 12-2 run, clogging every lane, turning every catch into a wrestling match, and the officiating let that identity run wild from minute 1. Indiana was in a hole before Boston's first foul, and it never closed. Every minute she sat, Indiana lost its only threat inside, which forced the offense onto jumpers, against a defense engineered to force exactly that. Her bench time didn't cost her minutes. It cost the offense its balance. And she still went 15 points, 7 rebounds, 2 steals, 3 blocks. That's what she did while stapled to the bench for fouls that didn't match anything Golden State was doing at the other end. Put it next to Clark, and the night has a shape. Indiana's 2 best players squeezed by the same crew in opposite directions. One called for fouls that weren't fouls, the other denied a call a rec league ref blows. And if you've watched this team all season, you know it wasn't the first time. On its own, that looks fine, until you remember this is the engine of the entire offense playing on a quad that couldn't push off the floor. So the question isn't whether the numbers are good, it's how she got any. 4 of 14 from the field, 1 of 8 from 3. On paper, a cold night. On tape, a diagnosis. Every time she tried to create separation, she needed that first step. The same push off the same leg the officials ignored in the second quarter. She still got to her spots. She still pulled help. But the burst that turns a contested 3 into a clean one was gone. Those aren't bad shots. That's a bad leg. 4 turnovers, same story from the other side. Her giveaways come from aggression. She takes the risk because the first step bails her out. Take it away, and reads that always work become live ball turnovers, because the defender she used to blow past is still standing there. Somebody did show up. Sophie Cunningham took over stretches of this game defensively. 10 points, 4 steals, all of it anticipation and effort. Exactly what a shorthanded roster needs when both stars are compromised.
Here are these half-court situations where the Valkyries are just so good, but Cunningham cannot miss!
The bench kept the margin from becoming an embarrassment. 75 points against a defense built to force exactly that stall. That's what brings us to the number Fever fans are fighting each other about tonight. Kelsey Mitchell, 35 minutes. In a game decided before the fourth quarter started. 20 points. And it's the timing of those shots fueling the stat-padding accusations flying around right now. Look at the sequence. Clark, the reason those seats are full, gets pulled for a minute's restriction while playing hurt. Mitchell keeps hunting shots deep into a blowout with 0 suspense left. Put those...
Tiffany Hayes leaves it short at the rim.
3 stops in a row.
Mitchell has been so confident and dials up a 3.
Here we go.
You can hear the room is different before Clark finishes a sentence. First question is the no call, and her voice comes out flat and sharp at once. The tone people use when they're holding back 10 times more than what's coming out. She doesn't dance. Listen.
Killing, can you take me through that second quarter play with Stokes that made you upset and then you hopped into the back?
Like that hurts. Like the ref can't miss that, and then I have to play with a contusion in my leg the rest of the game. Like it's ridiculous. Can't miss calls like that.
Did they give you an explanation right after when you?
She said I initiated the contact, which is fine. You can't knee me in the leg, knock me over.
No hedge. No, I'll watch the film. She names the call wrong and the consequence unfair in the same breath, on camera, knowing exactly what she's doing. Then the questions turn to her minutes. And Clark goes quiet. She doesn't attack the restriction. She doesn't defend it either. Now White's podium. Different room, different night entirely.
And I had some good looks that didn't go down, and then, you know, I shot some tougher looks too, but, you know, I thought I finally kind of played with a little bit more pace and a little bit more burst, especially down the stretch in the fourth, but hopefully I don't have to keep playing 25 minutes.
Well, speaking of that, as far as the contusion goes, it seems like...
we'll just rub it out. She's fine. Yeah. Good old knuckles on it and call it a day.
On the other end of the floor...
White talks about a system and a process. That's not 2 people on the same page. That's 2 people describing 2 different games. And the cap has a real reason behind it. 25 minutes, built around her back injury recovery. That made sense when she was working back from something nobody wanted to rush. But it falls apart tonight. Because tonight she wasn't being protected from her recovery. She'd already been kneed in the quad and forced to grind 3 quarters on a bad leg because nobody blew a whistle. The chart didn't know that. The chart didn't care. That's the double punishment. She takes the knee, plays through it because nobody called it, fights to stay useful on one leg, then gets pulled anyway over a number on a spreadsheet that has nothing to do with the second quarter. That's how resentment gets built. Fast. And it's driving every fan page and every sports show right now. The idea that Clark and White aren't disagreeing on strategy anymore. They're pulling in opposite directions. Analysts are already floating trade capital, scenarios where Indiana leans into Boston and Hull as the core, and moves on from the Clark-White pairing entirely. Nobody said the word. Not Clark, not the front office. But the conversation is happening. And that tells you the temperature. Strip it all away. Here's what's left. Clark, 13-6 on a leg that barely worked. Boston, 15-7 while fighting phantom fouls all night. And Indiana still lost big to a team that played rougher and got away with it clean. Nobody manufactured this anger. Fans earned it. Watching an official 3 feet away miss a knee to the quad, watching the franchise player benched while a veteran hunted shots in a decided game, watching Clark say the quiet part out loud while her coach said nothing. So is this the night her patience snapped? Or one more entry in a pattern that's been building all season? Should Clark finally leave the Indiana Fever? Comments below. I read them all, and the best take goes in the next video. Like, subscribe, notifications on. Click the video on screen. See you in the next one.